465 about death. Do I want to do that, or do I want to do... Yeah, we'll do this one. Okay, 465. I heard a fly buzz when I died. The stillness in the room. This is on page 1054. Page 1054, number 465. I heard a fly buzz when I died. The stillness in the room was like the stillness in the air between the heaves of storm. And we only know about that here with the eye of the hurricane. It's still. The eyes around had wrung them dry, and breaths were gathering firm for that last onset, when the king be witnessed in the room. Who's she waiting for? Jesus. The king, right? Okay. Sounds like that, yeah. The eyes had wrung them dry, everybody had cried themselves out, and they're waiting for the last onset, and they're waiting for the king. I willed my keepsakes, signed away what portion of me be assignable. She signed away what she could sign away. What can you not sign away?
Everything that's inside you and everything is eternal.
Yeah. So she signed away all those external things, but her soul, her being, that's all that's left she's got for herself. And then it was there interposed a fly. Why a fly? With blue, uncertain, stumbling buzz between the light and me. And then the windows failed. And then I could not see to see. What are they waiting for? What shows up?
Her eyes.
A fly. Why a fly?
Well, flies are kind of annoying.
Flies are annoying, but why a fly and not a mosquito or a gnat?
Do flies make sound? They don't.
The fly represents death.
The fly represents death.
It does?
Yeah, Lord of the Flies, right? In past centuries, people believe that, you know, what do flies come from?
Oh,
Those
they come
flies
from
fly around you when you're
dead carcasses.
Dead carcasses. Well, they don't really, I mean,
They thought like they were like inside it.
they thought that it was like, yes, that they were kind of part of the dead carcass because maggots would be in the carcass and then they turn into, it's just creepy gross. Okay. Too close to lunch, let's not think about that too much. But yes, flies are known for being associated with death, as in the Lord of the Flies and that sort of thing. So yes. So they're waiting for Jesus, and she's assigned all of her stuff away. Does the king come?
It doesn't really say.
It doesn't say. And
I'm
what
still
is?
waiting.
Well, is she waiting now?
I mean, I guess like she's done everything.
How does it end though?
She dies. Yeah, the window.
She dies. Yeah, the windows fail. What would the windows be?
Her eyes.
Her eyes, yes. So she can't see to see. So it's kind of like, and then the lights are off, and that's it. And I could not see to see. With blue, uncertain, stumbling buzz between the light and me. Now, does this mean that death interposed and death came for her and took her away from God? Or does this mean that... What can she tell us about after she dies?
She can't tell us anything about that.
Yeah, she can't tell us anything after she dies because she's not there. So, and what is her death like? I mean, it's not one of those stories where she's waiting for the king to come and then, I mean, you know, you hear of people who on their deathbed will see maybe a deceased loved one, or they'll see angels, or they'll see Jesus, or they'll sit up in bed and say Jesus or something like that. I mean, have y'all heard stories of people who have those kinds of things? Yeah. So it's kind of like everybody's waiting, and it could be that moment when the king would come into the room, when Christ would come into the room. But no, I mean, she had experienced enough deaths of young people that she says, I mean, the fly represents death. The fly also just represents an annoying pest that's just not supposed to be there at this important moment in life. That's just annoying and not fitting, right? Now, it doesn't mean that she doesn't believe in life after death. It doesn't mean that she does. What she's expressing here is, to some extent, that uncertainty that we get. She's kind of like, okay, this is one answer we have, this is another answer we have. I don't know, and some days you're with someone and they pass away and it just, there isn't anything there to define it for you. And she recognizes that commonplaceness and the lack of answer or closure or whatever. So she's not giving us answers. Now, she's got another image of death on the next page, 712. If any of you are thinking about going on to teaching high school, yes.
I've read this in high school.
You read that, yes. That's why I was saying, if you're going to teach English in high school, or if you're going to teach maybe even middle school, this is probably the most famous one. And this one works pretty much to the Yellow Rose of Texas and Gilligan's Island too. Because I could not stop for death, he kindly stopped for me. The carriage held but just ourselves and immortality. We slowly drove, he knew no haste, and I had put away my labor and my leisure too for his civility. We passed the school where children strove at recess in the room. We passed the fields of gazing grain. We passed the setting sun, or rather he passed us. The dews drew quivering and chill, for only gossamer my gown, my tippet only tulle. We paused before a house that seemed a swelling of the ground. The roof was scarcely visible, the cornice in the ground. Since then 'tis centuries, and yet feels shorter than the day that I first surmised the horse's head were toward eternity. Okay, and to beat the undead horses to death. Because I could not stop for death, he kindly stopped for me. The carriage held but just ourselves in immortality. Who does death look like when, how is death presented?
Grim Reaper.
The Grim Reaper? No. What does he show up? How does he? He's a gentleman caller. Okay, I'm the one that's just said it 30 times since I started.